Alright, this is going to be my second and only video for tonight. I'm going to rest tonight. However, this is going to be a little along the lines of my different branding. So, here's this for you. So one thing that came to me today was blame shifting. I picked up on a lot of that here recently. And for example, when you see in your workplace, right, or in your family atmosphere, like I posted a conversation that took place yesterday on my Facebook feed or on my Facebook page regarding a conversation that was just straight blame shifting, right? When people mess up, right, they often, you can always notice how the guilty party always points the fingers. And that's why agencies do what they do when they get caught. For example, blame shifting, right? I know in my previous career field, I always have had the run-in with working with people that never wanted to make a decision because they never wanted to be held accountable, right? And because they never wanted to be held accountable, they called me every 5 minutes to ask me a question that I've already answered and given them the answer to multiple times, over and over and over again, right? But because they never wanted to be held accountable, or said even when they do mess up, that's when it comes in with the blame shifting. When you don't take accountability or you mess up, generally speaking, they're going to blame shift. All right. And these are things to look out for. You know, that's why we document everything. Lord knows, learn from my mistakes. Lord knows. Because when the truth's on paper, they can't say the blah, 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 the cat did it. You know what I'm saying? When things are on paper. But here's the thing when it comes to documenting. Like, when it comes to my receipts, which I've got a slew of them now, and I have some from the past, but my screenshots that disappeared off my phone for nearly a year, that straight corroborates everything that I'm saying, right? They disappeared off my phone and they're not on my iCloud. You know, it's very prominent people. I get it. But I'm just saying, document everything and then document that documentation. And that's one thing I can appreciate with this company is they evidence, documentation, and accountability. And I'm here for it. Not only accountability for the employee, you, but there's accountability that's being upheld as the employer. By providing you resources, by providing you training, by providing you support, encouragement. And when they, there's things within the company or the structure base of the company that needs fine tuning, they then go in and they fix it. And here's a thought too. They listen. When people are crying out for help, asking you over and over and over, they actually listen, right? And so, ill intent. That's another thing that came to me today. Ill intent. So, here's the thing that I've been picking up on. Is backhanded. When somebody says, a friend, a coworker, a family member, they say something backhanded with little innuendos. Usually when something's wrong, people leave or quit. Like that was thrown out there today. I was like, oh yeah, I pick up on that. Yeah, you right. 100%. And then they smile in your face when they be saying those back-ended things. And here's the funny part with that. Let me give you another perspective when people usually quit or leave. When they know they're being scapegoated. When they know that they're being completely used, abused, lied to, manipulated, coerced, siphoned. Yeah, you're right. You are right. People usually leave too in that aspect of it as well. So that's exactly how, say, fraud works. It's dressed up as policy or so-and-so said so-and-so and so-and-so said so-and-so. But behind the scenes, it's designed to harm you. That's what we blow. That's why we blow the whistle. Poof! That's why we blow the whistle. You know, again, obviously, I'm well aware of the narratives, this and that, and I'm totally fine with it. You can keep painting them. I know the truth. I walk in my truth, and nobody can take my truth away. And I dang sure ain't taking responsibility for something I never did. Never did. And that's exactly what I said in my text yesterday. And that's exactly why I walk every day with my head held high. I'll look at the sky. I don't look down at the ground. I ain't got no reason to look down at the ground. And I said this too today. I'm like, I find it interesting that people create fear and try to put you in a black door, or try to put you in a space to manipulate you to feel fearful, so you then can accept responsibility for nothing you never did. That's exactly what this last 3 years of my life have been. Straight up. And here we are, still going on 2 years, going strong too. I'll tell you that. October 2, it'll be 2 years I've been sober. I'm proud of myself for that. Now, I do drink every now and again. I've been picked up a little bit, but you know, I do. And I ain't gonna lie to kick it. I do drink, and smoking's definitely a problem. I understand that. But as for like, unfortunately, like when it comes to substance abuse, and I'm not throwing shade on anybody that battles any types of substance abuse whatsoever. I get it like extremely, you know, and I want to help people as best I can get to the other side of that. Because if I can do it, baby, you can do it. You can. And I'm here for anyone that wants help. Here for anyone that wants help. And you ain't getting no judgment or shame from me. None whatsoever. I stand right there next to you while you're battling it. Straight up. MK Ultra. Mind manipulation. Oof. You know, it's so funny. When we find all these binge watching shows, TikTok algorithm, but that's also a form of mind manipulation. And see, I've been picking up on that as well. It feels like your brain's being programmed without even noticing it. And see, that's kind of something that I've picked up on I've now picked up on, where now that's a big sting for the exterior right now, because they can't manipulate me. They can't manipulate my mind. MK Ultra me, you know, and you know, it's one of those things. We live in a manipulative world. Everybody thrives on manipulating one another because that's how they feel like they can gain forward movement. And that's just not how I operate. I've never been someone that manipulates, but I've been very easily manipulated. And I totally own that because I was unhealed. I was broken. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know my value. I didn't give myself space to be who I am and be who I want to be. And see, I find that when you finally get to a place in your walk where you're actually standing on what you want to stand on when it comes to morals, values, integrity, dignity, you know, ethics, you know, things like that, not judging people, but just loving people, whether it's from afar or not, you can still love people. You get to dictate who's in your world. There ain't nothing wrong with that. They can slice it, spin it, whatever, but you can. There is free will in that. That is the only thing we really have free in this world, is to dictate your life in reference to who's involved in it. Who gets the pleasure of your energy? Who gets the pleasure of your heart? Who gets the pleasure of calling you an employee? Because it's a duality. Dang, I felt that temperature drop right there. I hear you, God. Die or heal. This was a big one that came to me this morning. I got to a place in my walk where it's pretty much, Amanda, you're either going to die or you're going to heal. You're going to literally die and go into the ground, or you're going to walk the road less untraveled and you're going to heal. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be rigorous, and it's going to require every inch of you, blood, sweat, and tears, right? But baby, let me promise you, this is my conversation with God and how it went essentially. Is like, I promise you, when you get to the other side, you will be free of bondage. You will be free of silent chains or hidden chains. And you will feel good about yourself and you will love yourself. And that's where I'm at. And I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me. And nobody should. Once your eyes are open, you can't close them again. Once you heal, you can't go back to toxic thinking. Like, my mind won't even allow me to go back to the old way that I thought. And I still carry my thoughts in reference to how I think when it comes to others, because I never think negatively of others. I'm more disappointed and ashamed in different ways, but never negatively. Never.